Well, we saw jobs drop again, in the month of February, very low totals, down now for the year, first 2 months, over 9% from what we saw in the first 2 months last year. So the pace of downsizing still very low. Companies are not under a lot of pressure to cut jobs. Where we are seeing those cuts are in the kinds of areas where companies cut during periods of expansion, not just because revenues are doing very poorly. Well, I do think that we need to see a return to heavier job creation, or there are going to be concerns that the economy is hitting some kind of slowdown period. We haven't seen that 200,000 job month now for 2 consecutive months, when in fact we expected it. So if the ADP numbers are a precursor of lower numbers, not saying they are yet, that certainly will be concerning.
I think it's pretty clear that, well, the data still hasn't come in through. We've seen PMI numbers that are relatively decent. On the other hand, we're seeing some credit numbers and money supply numbers that are getting tighter, which I think is a real concern for the the ECB. We think that the market has priced in a lot of this sort of sideways quantitative easing or easing, and we would expect the euro to appreciate, heading back up to the 140, as this is seen as in the market as really a non-action by the ECB and Draghi not taking forward steps to ease further.
But if you look on the margin, we're increasingly moving into the European space. Originally it was European credit. Keep in mind the European banking system is nowhere near as, shall we say, through the crisis as the U.S. one is. A lot of the northern European banks are reluctant to lend to some of the southern peripherals, Greece, Spain, and Italy. But now European equities are really picking up. We have a big office in Europe, in London, and they're really, really busy. And
since the Russian intervention, we've been mobilizing the international community to condemn this violation of international law and to support the people and government of Ukraine. This morning, I signed an executive order that authorizes sanctions on individuals and entities responsible for violating the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine or for stealing the assets of the Ukrainian people.
Because I don't necessarily think, as we sat here and listened to it, that he said nothing new, really, because all this has been kind of leaking out as the last couple of days have gone on, what our position is, what we're going to do. And so I think the market is has discounted that already and is prepared to move forward. I think it is focusing on tomorrow's NFP report. Yet, I still think that geopolitical risk is just simmering under the surface, and any change, any tone change, any rhetoric change can certainly turn this market on a dime. And I think that's what people need to be just concerned about.